Hi friends, let's finish our very cute polar bear. So there's a couple options that you could finish this today by creating a background. One option is if you have construction paper at home, maybe you're going to choose a color, and then you could cut out your polar bear around the outline of the bear, like this, and then you would go just this cute little rainbow right here. So then your polar bear can stand on its own, kind of like this. There's that's a mama bear right there. So I'm going to put this aside. So if you have construction paper, you could then use a piece of copy paper, and this part is kind of fun. What you could do is you hold your hand on the copy paper, and then I take my one hand right here, and I'm going to kind of start ripping, and I'm going to go back and forth to make this beautiful, like, snowy edge. So I'm going to go up, down, and as you can see, I was doodling on this one. So I'm recycling. Alright. So I have this fun, like, very snowy edge, and now I can glue this to my construction paper. So if you have this at home, this is an option to use a blank or a solid color for your background, and then you could cut the copy paper with your hand by just ripping to make this very nice kind of textured edge, and then after you cut out your polar bear, you could glue that on. And of course, you could always add maybe snow with like a white crayon, and then you could add maybe a moon. That would look very beautiful. Maybe you're adding a tree, right? You could also do that. Maybe you have blue construction paper, and maybe you're going to draw on your designs first before you cut out and glue. All right. Now let's say if you don't have those options at home, and that's totally okay. We all have different things available to us currently. So one option too is just to add a nice like snowy background, or you could add like a beautiful textured sky. So I'm just going to add some hills right here, and maybe I'll do it over here, and maybe one more. So there, it's just kind of hills, and then maybe I can add a tree here. And maybe you're doing something different. Maybe I'll add a tree over here. I could add a tree here if I wanted. And maybe it's even going off the page a little bit. Okay, so that's an option. And then you could also add the moon if you wanted to, or maybe the sun. Maybe it's a nice sunny winter day. A fun option maybe for the sky is to add some texture to the sky, and you could even do that to the snow if you wanted. I just have purple and blue. I think those look really nice for a nice snowy winter scene, and I'm going to use my shoe as a texture plate. So I just lay my paper on my shoe's upside down, and then I can take my crayon and draw. So now I'm getting some fun textures for my sky, and I'm just going to move my paper as I go. And this is just an option. Do you have to do this? Of course not. You are the artist. You make your decisions. So I'm just going to do this all over, and I get some beautiful textures. And maybe I'll add a little purple to my sky, so right on top in some areas. Maybe I'm not doing it all over, just in some. Okay, gorgeous. So now I have a very nice sky, and then I could start adding, maybe I want to add a little blue so I know where my snow goes on the hills. And if I were to draw a tree, maybe I can start adding the color. Now, does yours have to look like mine? Nope. Maybe you want to add something else to your background. Maybe you're adding a little igloo over here. Maybe you're adding a river, or maybe your polar bear has a fish. Maybe you're adding a penguin. So you kind of decide what you want to add. Okay. One thing you could do is add shadows. So here's my tree. I'm going to pretend my shadow is over here. Shadow of the tree. Shadow. So it kind of looks like that. And that's beautiful. And maybe you can even add a little bit of shadow around you there. Alright. Beautiful. So there is an option to do your background, or remember, like I previously mentioned, you could cut out your bear, glue it on construction paper, or you could have a solid color, maybe rip the edge, and then glue it on. So there's definitely options for you, but I hope you have some fun, and I hope you get a little creative with your options. One thing, since I did the shadow on this side, that means my light source would be coming over here, right? Because the shadow's on this side. So then I could add maybe my light source as my sun over here. And then gorgeous. All right, I hope you have some fun.